All right, I recently picked up this 2006 Mega Cab with a Hemi, and I was towing a trailer, and I noticed the right turn signals and the right brake light wasn't working. So started digging around, trying to figure out where the problem was, and I learned a few things, and I came up with a solution that I haven't quite seen clearly shown by others on YouTube, so I thought I would share it with you. So it doesn't take long to sort of be pointed in the direction of either there's a short somewhere, or there's something wrong with your TIPM, or there's a short in the TIPM. Totally integrated power module here. Pull this out, and it's actually pretty easy, and you do need to pull this out to troubleshoot things. There's just these two tabs. There's one on this side, and there's one here that's up against the battery. Just use a flathead screwdriver, and you can pry them open, and you can pull this thing out. You don't even have to disconnect anything to get access to the connectors underneath that you can see here. But as you'll see in the picture I'm going to attach here, there are no relays that you can access. They're solid state switches, and they're like integrated circuits that are way beyond the hobbyist level of ability to repair. So if your TIPM goes out on a 2006, you're not going to be able to repair your TIPM. So I think the place to start is, before you get too carried away, obviously go check your wiring harness, your trailer wiring harness in the rear, and just make sure there's no like short going on there. But you want to pull this back, and I would just back probe the pins. You could simply use like a test light connected to the negative terminal of your battery, and just kind of probe the pins when you put on like the blinkers, and just see if you're able to get a signal coming out of the TIPM for the left turn signal and the right turn signal. And hey, guess what? I also discovered that there's a misprint in the manual for this truck, and it lists two different connector pins as both being for like the left turn signal, which unfortunately made me, I don't know why I didn't look at it a little closer, but it made me think, oh man, like, and I just got confused about what was going on. And so I started digging around, because I started realizing like, oh my goodness, my left turn signal is working. And it was actually the right one that I was testing. So anyways, long story short, I dug down to the firewall underneath here, pulled this whole thing out, because there's another splice connector in here, and then I started testing that, and it was working, or it wasn't working there, and I was all confused as to what was going on. So anyways, misprint in the manual. I will show you that. There's if you do get both the left and the right wires blinking here when you're testing your turn signals, then that means your TIPM is working. So start there, because if this thing goes bad, there's really no way to repair it. So obviously it would be ideal if you have a problem further on down the line, because that should be easy to repair. This one, not so. So I have a bad TIPM. I definitely had the signals not working on the, I guess it was the right side. I'm all turned around, but it was the right side that was not, that's not working. And it wasn't working here, and it wasn't working at the trailer, obviously. So the only other solution that I could come up with was this. So I got a Takancha circuit protected converter, is what it says. Basically, this allows me to tap into my brake lights, and I did not get the heavy duty version. I got the normal version, which the difference between the heavy duty version and the normal version is like $100. And the heavy duty version actually pulls power directly from your battery, fused power from your battery, and it operates kind of like relays inside of it. So basically you connect this to your turn signals on the truck, and those turn signals then send power here. And then this basically uses the relays to pull the power from the battery directly. So basically any power you're then sending out the unit is bypassing, it's not going to add drain to the TIPM that's actually powering the turn signals on the truck. Because I guess the last thing you really want is to overload the system and really make your TIPM go over the edge. Because it's one thing to have like your trailer lights not working, it's another thing when your whole truck lights stop working, right? So anyways, I decided to take the risk and just decide that I'm probably not going to be towing a trailer with a ton of lights. I'm not going to be overloading the system, hopefully. So I skimped, and I went with this system that basically is just pulling the power right off of my turn signals. And then I spliced into the back here This is the back of my 7-pin trailer wiring harness, and I spliced into it and basically probed and found out which pins were supposed to be for the left turn signal, the right turn signal, and the brake light, right? No, just the left turn signal and the right turn signal. The brake light is bypassed. The brake light is actually using the right turn signal and the left turn signal with this system. So actually my brake light is dead and is not working here anymore because I had to disconnect it because it was causing it was causing things to kind of go haywire. So brake lights still work. They just engage both of the turn signal lights, and they stay on constantly when I hit the brakes. And then I have my 4-pin here, and I also have this one where I had to tap into it, replace the 2 wires that were actually coming from the TIPM or from this whole wiring harness. And they're all coming through this device now. And so basically these wires, if you kind of follow them here, the red one is my brake line, the green one is my turn signal, and then on this side, I have my yellow one for my other turn signal. And it's really a breeze. You just undo these 2 torque screws, pull this out, and again, just kind of using your pen light, you can just kind of probe and see which wires are active when you're using your turn signals and your brake lights, and that you should be able to get the system replaced. So my initial thought was, since I only have one side that's not working, my right side, could I just run the right side through that converter and still use my TIPM to power the left side of my truck? Should work, right? Well, it kind of worked, but what ended up happening was when I would apply the brake light and the emergency flashers, of course on the truck everything was fine. But on the trailer, or on my tester that I had connected, because I just bought a tester with the light so I could actually see what was going on, it would actually alternate left, right, and I'm like, that's not a big deal. It's not going to be very often that I probably have my emergency flashers on at the same time as my brakes, but it just didn't actually, I don't know, it didn't make me feel comfortable with the setup. And the only way I could really resolve it was to run both the brake lights and the left and right turn signal through the converter. So I had to bypass the TIPM for anything signal related. Now I'm still using the TIPM for my running lights, my backup lights, and the brake controller for electric brakes. Those are still running through the TIPM, and they're still all connected here with my 7-pin correctly, but the other pins from the 7-pin are going through that converter, and now everything works like it should. So yeah, I don't know. I could argue that going with the heavy-duty system may have made more sense, so that I actually was providing fused power directly from the battery to the trailer. I didn't go that route, and I'm going to see if it ends up being good. Obviously, I will post here on YouTube if I have problems, and I'll let you know. But at the moment, everything is working well, and I saved myself, hundreds of dollars buying a used TIPM on eBay. I feel like they were going for a little over $300, and it's really a crapshoot if it will work with everything that my truck came installed with or not. So hopefully everything will work. I don't plan on towing that often anyways, so I'm quite hopeful. But yeah, hopefully that helps anybody out having that same problem I was having with the 2006 Mega Cab.